Hey, what's up guys? My name is Caden. Welcome to this track guide in the Super Formula car at Silverstone. Few quick notes. Track is basically in optimal condition. These laps are on quality fuel with push to pass enabled to pretty much show the max lap time, or as close to the max as possible. So, coming into the lap here, turn 1, then 2, pretty simple. Just gonna turn in. You can cut this, you cannot. The difference in lap time isn't that crazy. Just be careful not to get the off track when you're cutting it. Hold this line tight, drift out a slight bit, and then we're gonna angle ourselves into the braking zone. Braking just about here when the curbing starts up, so that we can get a nice long braking into the corner. Don't need to scrub off a lot of speed, but you need to scrub off enough speed. So coming in, angle ourselves so we can get onto that curb, since it starts up during the braking zone, and then we're gonna start turning in. Well, make sure you hit the apex here. Don't touch the sausage curb or else you pop and you'll die. But making sure we're continuing that right hand turn. We're going to try to get as far right of the track as we can before we start our left turn for the next corner. So we're going to try to get as far close to the edge as we can before we're just going to miss the apex. So usually if you can get your right tires to the line, I found that was pretty good. Coming in, we're going to do a little bit of throttle starting at the apex, just build our speed back up, just not too much, nothing crazy, and then we're going to get back onto the trail brake to get our rotation back in. Just be trailing the brakes here. Gonna be getting our turn in, try to hit this apex right here, and then we're gonna get a nice wide exit. If you're on singles, turning point I usually go for is when I'm starting to be in line with this corner. So once I'm in line with that corner, I'm gonna start my left-hander. So just be aware for that. Get good power down on the exit. Go that curve right there. Coming into this corner here, it's pretty deceptive corner. So gonna initiate our braking at just around the 50-meter board. You can maybe go later. It's sketchy though, really sketchy, and it requires so much commitment. So coming in, we're not gonna follow the early stage of this corner right here. If we follow the early stage of this corner, we're gonna get stuck way inside, and right here when it tightens right here, because it's kind of like a decreasing radius corner, you're just gonna get shot off out of the track. So we're gonna stay like a car's width or two away from the apex until we start reaching these curbs right here, and then we're gonna tighten. We're gonna aim for this second curb as like our rotation point. We're gonna try to get that as our apex. That way you get it shot out, but you're not gonna get shot out all the way wide. So gonna trail in quite long for here. Trail in, and then you're gonna try to get on the throttle early, right about when you hit the apex. Can continue to the left. It's mostly how the car feels. This corner is so long and you have so much downforce, a lot of the things you do on the entry isn't totally going to matter. So gonna come in, rotate, just give it some gas every so often. Try to manage that throttle. Once we get about halfway through with this second curb from the end right here, we're gonna start hopping on our power. Try to use all the track on exit, and then we're going to cut right here. Just cut that corner. Just try to get a shorter line around the track. Coming into here. This will require commitment. We're going to lift off just before the 50 meter board. And then we're going to get straight back on power. Try to use as much track on entry here. Be careful though. If you're taking too much track on entry here, the tires will overload and then the car will deload and you'll just slide straight off the track. So one big thing to pretty much focus on there. Make sure you're not bouncing the car too much. You can use a lot of this curbing. I believe it's middle of the car to these green curbs for most of the track here. Just be careful. The off tracks can be kind of crazy around this circuit. Get back on the power. We're gonna come down into Maggots and Beckett's here. Straighten this. Still flat. This one we're gonna cut really hard. Still flat. And then here we're gonna start thinking about when you start your left-hand turn in and you're halfway in between the last corner and the next one, you're going to start your lift off and you're going to start your trail. So start your trail. You don't need to scrub off much speed for this corner. So you're just going to trail for a long time. You want to get your car pretty far left so you can do a early rotation, late apex for this next corner so you can get the run out. If you hug the apex here, your run's going to be terrible. It's just going to be terrible. It's going to be really hard. The car's not going to rotate and you're going to get that off track on exit. So turn in, use the curbing right here. It's center of your car over this curb. This curb, really brutal with the off tracks. Just be careful with it right there. So, just watching that corner again. Turn in, trail, middle of the track, turn in, and then try to get on power. Come down. One of the final corners here. Gonna be braking just about once we get into this curb right here. Use the curb. This corner, kind of a bit of the same as I believe it's Woodcote earlier, but we're gonna stick this apex. It tightens on the exit. You're gonna get on power a little later than you feel like. Off tracks can be brutal here. I believe if you off track this corner, it's edge of tire to this curb right here. It'll just give you a slowdown and you're cooked. Not great. So just be careful of that. But we're gonna want to power out. Start braking at the 100 right here, 100 meter board, or start a curb if you're on singles. Gonna try to come slightly on the curb. It's not great, but we're gonna start our turn in. Avoid the sausage curb here. Long trail. Slight bit of power. We're gonna put on a slight bit of power to just bring up our speed a little bit in between these two corners. There's two lines here. You can try to keep it tight, or you can try to do the same as Maggots and Beckett's, where you go out a bit. You come in a bit wider. Get on power. Wider line might be a bit better for being on power faster. It's just going to require sacrificing that previous corner. And then we're going to straighten our line and come across the line for the finish line to end the lap. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I do coaching for $15 an hour. My Discord link is in the description. Have a good day.